Hello guys, and welcome to our video today. In our video today we are going to analyze football scripting. We're going to know what is football scripting. Football scripting is a form of football tactics in whole or in broad, where managers come up with plans, patterns of play in which players are expected to follow so that this can enable the team to progress forward and win matches. This is famously amongst top managers such as Pep Guardiola, Mauricio Jurgen, Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, and many other managers. Football scripting involves telling players and explaining players in training where they should position themselves during build-up, where they should position themselves during attack, and also how they should navigate from in possession to out of possession and transitions. Mauricio Pochettino is also implementing this at Chelsea currently. Mikel Arteta has had some success at Arsenal implementing this football philosophy. We are going to do an in-depth tactical analysis on what football scripting is. But before we continue, I'd like you to like this build-up opposition's pressing. This is a clear example of Arsenal effectively building from the back and beating Manchester City's high press. Alternatively, some teams might rather not build from the back but rather go direct by playing long balls to target man who can receive the ball from the goalkeeper or centre backs and lay it off to midfielders and wingers making runs wide. A clear example is Inter Milan's team, where Onana's excellent distribution was used to pick out Dzeko. Another aspect of football scripting is the progressive play. Progressive play involves whereby the team's midfielders and centre backs play the ball amongst each other, circulating possession. This involves drawing opponents and trying to make opponents to leave their positions to open spaces and gaps high up. The final third is where a team has numerical superiority in the attack. This might involve either an overlapping fullback with a winger cutting in, or a wide winger with a central midfielder attacking the half space, or the other form of attack. This might involve having as many players, of having a +1 player in attack. If a team is building with 4 defenders, you have 5 attackers. If it's building with 5, you have 6. This is something that most teams employ by either having overlapping fullbacks or attacking midfielders, attacking the half spaces while the wingers stay wide. Common example is Manchester City and Liverpool teams. From build-up, we also have what we call pressing. Pressing involves winning the ball high up the pitch. This is aided by either where teams and managers such as Pochettino and Klopp employ this tactic. Another one is mid-blocks. This is where teams sit in mid-blocks, where they restrict opponents from playing penetrative passes to their forward line by constantly pressing the players in possession and making them to play the ball sideways with zero progression in their own half of the pitch. This is a clear example of Tottenham employing a mid-block against Liverpool in the Champions League final, preventing Liverpool from entering their half of the pitch. Another example is the deep block, which is also known as parking the bus. This is employed by pragmatic managers or when teams are faced with constant threat in attack. This is where teams drop close to their opposition, close to their 18-yard box, and form 2 banks of 4 to limit central progression and force play down the wide channels where they can easily clear out headers. Some managers have also used this tactic as a form of counter-attacks. Such managers are Jose Mourinho, who has used this tactic effectively in his teams, where they park the bus and counter-attack ruthlessly and this has saw them have victories and success in employing this kind of tactic. Counter-attacks are good for teams, especially teams who see few possession. So these football aspects and tactics are some of the tactics that have been employed with various managers. Counter-attacks involves positioning wide players high and wide to stretch and receive the ball in space. Fullbacks also pushing wide. There's also an aspect of either launching counter-attacks or containing and restarting play once you receive the ball from the opponent. This transition from counter-attack, we also have what we call counter-pressing. Counter-pressing is also where teams sit in mid-block setting pressing traps where they can quickly spring out and press. High-pressing teams, low-pressing teams, and mid-blocks. We also need to understand the movement of the defense line. The defense line is key, especially where offside traps are set by teams. So when the opposition centre backs have the ball and they are facing forward, the opposition defense line drops deep to prevent the opponents from picking runs beyond the opposition defense line. But once that is evaded, the defense line pushes up. We also see aspects such as wide overloads where wingers, fullbacks, centre midfielders and centre backs form wide overloads against opponents where they can maneuver the ball, draw in a press and result in quick shifts of play. These are some elements of positional play and other systems of play such as Sarri ball. These patterns of football scripting have been taken over by the world's most elite managers. This is something that we see and we hope will progress as time goes by. That is for our video today. Thanks for watching.